Greetings, greetings. Hello, good people. How are you? Happy Saturday to you. Thank you for coming in and sharing your time with us. And it is article reaction time. We're going to have a few articles to go over and react to them. We always find something wow, something that you can learn and take it somewhere else and teach someone else. You never know. But I will start off with letting you know what happened with a place that filed for bankruptcy. I'll give you a little story. I had a little history with companies filing bankruptcies, and it may let's say 10 years ago to make it an even number. And there was this company, I'm sure you guys heard of them, Bally's, and they were a place that was a gym, and they were pretty popular. So one day they decided to offer this great deal. I mean, this deal was just fabulous. They said to me, "Hey, we give you this great deal. If you pay right away." And I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." So I took advantage of the deal. But what I did not know that the company had filed for bankruptcy. So when I stepped up to the gym one day, place is closed, gone, out of business, finito. It's over with. It's done. And after experience, I've been watching the newspaper articles from then on to make sure I find out and start sniffing the idea that you are going out of if you're going out of business, if you're filing for bankruptcy. Because I've seen some things happen to a few people. Um, and I didn't like it. I thought it was an awful thing. Um, Bennigan's, that was a popular restaurant here in Chicago. People would go there all the time, gather, hang out at the bar. Once the friends, come, you grab a table and it was fun. Nice little finger food. You have a good time, laugh, giggle, all that good stuff. But what they did to their employees one day, they just closed and didn't tell them. And it wasn't a weekend, it wasn't a Friday, it wasn't a Monday. So it was really out of the blue. It was like a Tuesday or Thursday. People walked, the people that were gonna, work there, the cooks and dishwashers and all that kind of stuff, they show up 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's a sign on the darn door. Now they just left maybe midnight that night. They come to work the next day, sign on the door, sorry, we're closed. Contact this 800 number. I thought that was just awful that people actually experienced that. Had a job the day before, hours before. Company filed for bankruptcy, you get nothing. Whatever pension, if you had one, gone, snatched from under you. You get nothing. And so, like I said, I've been sniffing out different things when it comes down to a company and how they're doing. I pay much attention. I am one that will go to the restaurant and I see a line. I have no problem with that. I'm going over where the napkins are and the straws and other condiments. I'm going to grab me a nice little stack and then go get back in line. Then after I get my order my food or whatever it is, I get some more. Double my pleasure. So a sister know how to save and have us some extra. So I always sniff out restaurants and stuff or establishments when it comes down to them cutting back. Once they cut back, I already know something's going on. I just start watching. And what my experience is, I'll shorten it up. My experience last, well, 2 weeks ago, I had placed an order with Neiman Marcus for some cologne. What ended up happening, the package was lost. It is what it is. I called the company, hey, package lost. I don't have it. I don't know what's going on. Can you please, what options do I have? You want to send another one out? Because there are some companies, they would, you still have to get it. So They said, you can get your money back. I said, okay, well, just go and give my money back. I'm good with that. And I got my money back. Next thing I know, I get home one day from the store and I got an email saying, your package is on the way. So I called the company. I'm like, what are you talking about? What's going on? And Neiman Marcus said, oh, you know what? We see that you asked for your money back, but some kind of way we end up sending you another one. I'm like, but why? I didn't ask for that. They're like, we don't know why. We don't know what happened. So they acknowledged it was their mistake. But what we're going to do, hold the line. I'll get a manager. We're going to call FedEx, and we're going to try to get a hold of that. Okay, fine. So they call FedEx. They're like, oh, you know what? We couldn't stop the package or anything, but we're going to handle this. I says, so when do I find out that it's handled? Oh, give us a week or whatever. So sure enough, they I called back in a week. Oh yeah, the package. We don't know what happened to it. Um, but call us back in 3 days. Give us 3 days. FedEx called me, and they asked me some questions. I'm like, I don't know where it is. I don't know what you're talking about. And you can't find where you delivered it. What's going on? So ended up that what ended up happening was package is lost again, and this time it was a signature. But what they explained to me is when they put a tracking on it or try to stop it, they said FedEx will actually sign for it. Um, and I do know if they never even attempted to deliver it because those days that I kept getting emails saying we're going to attempt to drop your package off today. No one actually did that. So that package never came to this address or even near it. What ended up happening, I called back, let me see, today is Saturday. I called back as they asked me to Wednesday. And I was so tired Wednesday. I just, because I've been very excited. I got a lot of stuff going on. And I just crashed and burned Wednesday. So I made that phone call before I laid down. And the customer service rep at Neiman Marcus told me that I needed to contact FedEx. I said, well, I'm going to give you a moment to read the notes, okay? Read the notes, and then let's see where we're going to go from there. The guy read the notes and he repeated that I'm going to have to contact FedEx. So I'm like, well, maybe he didn't read or didn't understand what's going on. So I gave him the short version, which is all I need to give him. I ordered a package, it was lost, you refunded me. And then you send me an item I did not ask for without my permission with my credit card. You tried to stop it. You say you're going to take care of it. It did not happen. Now I'm calling back to see if everything is taken care of. You're telling me now that it's not taken care of. Oh, it says it's delivered. So you go and track it down. I said, if that's what you're telling me, I just want to be sure. And he said, yes. I said, okay. Now let me speak to a manager. And I dealt with the manager. She said she don't know what happened. She apologizes and we'll give you a refund. Give your bank whatever, 3 to 4 days, blah, blah, blah. But where I'm getting to is the company had filed for bankruptcy. I had no idea Neiman Marcus filed for bankruptcy. So it happened to me again. And I don't like that. Once a decade is a little bit too much for me. I didn't like that experience 10 years ago. I didn't like it now. And I'm going to have to be more vigilant. So I have been watching as far as with companies to see what's going on because with this virus and all, we don't know who's going to open up. We really don't know. But I'm going to deal with the company guys and welcome as you come in. Thank you so much, Don Teasy, Mela, Poetic Kales, Ani, Emmanuel. I saw you earlier. Who else? And Art. Thank you for coming. But yes, I didn't like that. Like I said, didn't like that experience. I will be vigilant and I will be sharing that information with you guys, whether it's in my opening monologue or if it's in the description area. But you will be learning how to watch out for yourself because people are gonna not. A lot of people are not gonna open. You know, when we're gonna talk about that much later. But without further ado, let's check out who has arrived.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage.
Classic Ruby, everyone.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much for the, warm well wishes. As always, I am so happy to be here. Good afternoon slash evening, dear Shar. Thank you. Thank you.
Ooh, that's just classic.
I
Greetings and
know.
how are you?
Great. You know what's funny is that it makes me look extra, but I'm not the one who did it. Remember, it's not like I made demands in my dressing room, okay? I appreciate the extraness, but I'm not the one who started it or caused it. I'm just saying, I apparently inspire this in others. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's my
That's all I'm saying.
pleasure, and I'm glad you enjoy it.
Why, thank you. Thank you. I very much do.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and as far as the articles, I have three and a flash because I'm not even gonna call it an article; it's just a flash. And I'll go ahead and start because it'll be quick.
Okay. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's just a little flash just to ask some people, "Hey, Lady Neek, let me type in here and welcome you. Thank you so much for coming." All right, let me share
Hello
my
to everyone.
screen.
Sorry,
All
y'all, I'm not
right.
in the chat, but I do love you all. Mwah. Okay. How to say that quick?
Yeah, I really appreciate the mods because it is for me anyway to go back and forth, back and forth. So I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now I mentioned this before that someone had stolen the mask off of the lion at the Art Institute of Chicago. I think I mentioned that. And if I have not, it was stolen a few months ago. So all I want to do is say the mayor here, she probably will give you a award if you find it, a reward if you find it. So look out for that mask. It's so many feet long, so many feet wide. Look for it and claim your money. That is all.
That okay? So can you tell me? Because I'm obviously I'm unfamiliar with this mask. There's a mask on a statue normally, and
Yes.
someone. So first, I mean that is different in and of itself. I have never heard of someone masking up their statues. I'm just gonna be real. But from there, someone climbed onto this mask, which was removable, and then removed the mask.
Yes.
Okay, well, okay. What does the mask symbolize? Something important or controversial, and that's why they did this, or like, explain to me why someone would do something like this. I'm so confused.
Now, why could be because we can,
Mm-mm.
but the mask just represented that with this pandemic, Chicago, we stand with you. That's it.
Fair, fair. Okay, I got it. Uh,
That is all.
that is special. That is definitely special. Thank you for sharing that. Now I know people got too much time on their hands. Um,
Exactly.
all right. So now I would like to say, in a special breaking news, Ruby will be dropping a video. Now, my plan was to drop it before the stream, but as is usual, I am running late. So I will be dropping it after our stream. But it is done.
Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's a work of art, okay? When I drop, at least I put editing time into my videos. So, um, But what I did do, and I'll just explain really briefly, is this article that we're going to talk about now came to my attention because someone posted it in their community tab. And what I didn't like about it, and this is what my video talks about, my perspective, is what they said that this article meant about, all black men. And that really was my issue. But I want to talk about this article. I want to talk about this man and what he did. I don't know if people have heard about it or not. So I'm going to share. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's listen to the news video thingy first. I think that might be a good idea. And then that way people can hear it and hear what's going on if they haven't seen it. Oh, no, 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 no. Oops. Sorry. I almost clicked share my entire screen and there's so many things open.
Okay.
First appearance in court. Okay. Got it.
All
All
right.
right. So we got this going on.
There you go. Gotcha.
Perfect. Okay. So I can open this and you should be able to hear the sound in 1 second.
Okay.
Dallas court documents reveal more information about what happened to.
Okay. I got no sound on my
Not
end.
hearing it? Okay. You know what? I think what I should do is maybe if I could get you to open it and play it because I don't have my whole setup
Okay.
today. So
Okay.
so I'll send you the article, and then
Okay.
that way you can open it. And in the meantime, let me talk about it really quickly then. So basically, um, for those of you who haven't heard about this, his name is Aaron Glee Jr. And what he did was he kidnapped and murdered after keeping someone in prison for months. And she was a Black Lives Matter activist. This is an important fact. So she had been protesting for a long time, actually, things that had been happening to black men unfairly and unjustly in the streets. She's one of the Black Lives Matter people who actually really cares about what's happening to our black men. And he kidnapped her and held her for several days, assaulted her, and then murdered her. Now, what's important about this, with this kidnapping, is that Victoria Sims, the second woman, the older white woman who was kidnapped, Victoria Sims, the reason why she was kidnapped is because she knew that Aaron Glee had been in contact with Toyin because she had picked both of them up from a bus stop and dropped them off at Aaron Glee's house. So after he had kept Toyin kidnapped and held for several days, he then murdered her, went to Victoria Sims and murdered her as well. So it is a big deal because we have activists who are out there who are putting their lives on the line. We know what that is to an extent because even though it's only the internet, we're out there and we are
Right.
putting our voices, our faces. It's not that hard to go dox someone, figure out your name and the cities you live in and whatever. And so when you're putting yourself out there and you're speaking up for Black people, you know, the last thing you want to hear is the last thing you want to have happen, but the last thing you want to hear about are the people who are putting their lives on the line for Black lives are then kidnapped and murdered and held intentionally by someone who knows all the good that you're doing for the Black community. So it's definitely a devastating case. So let's hear the news article
Okay.
here, and they'll tell you a little bit more about what happened.
All right.
back in court, making his first appearance before a judge. Glee now being held without bond, awaiting trial. Good evening, everyone. I'm Julie Montanaro.
And I'm Ben Kaplan. Glee is facing more charges now as court documents reveal more information about what happened to Oluwatoyin Salau and Victoria Sims. Elizabeth Milner in court for us today. And Elizabeth, what's the latest?
Well, Ben, Julie, just heartbreaking details coming out today about the deaths of Oluwatoyin Salau and Victoria Sims. Those court documents reveal that Victoria Sims picked up Oluwatoyin and Aaron Glee from a bus stop. That's where Aaron Glee allegedly held Oluwatoyin captive in his home on Monday Road for several days, where he sexually assaulted her repeatedly. At first, he was only facing one count of second-degree murder and one count of kidnapping for Victoria Sims. The state attorney now adding 3 more charges today, including premeditated murder, another count of kidnapping, and 1 count of sexual assault for Oluwatoyin Salau. The deputy state attorney tells me they believe that they have a strong case against Glee.
Enough has been concluded to determine probable cause. So from what I've observed, it does appear to be a strong case. But there's issues, or I anticipate there will be legal issues to be argued, as there typically are in any case.
Now, Glee will now be represented by Mercurio Padilla, who had represented Sigfrido Garcia back in 2019 in the Dan Markel case. Glee is set for another appearance tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. here at the Leon County Courthouse. But for now, reporting live outside Leon County Courthouse, Elizabeth Milner, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right,
Okay,
Elizabeth, thank you. And tonight we are learning that funeral arrangements have been made for both of the women that Glee is accused of killing. There's a celebration of life now set for longtime AARP volunteer Victoria.
I think I heard you say that's it.
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right. Just
Thank
want to be
you.
sure. Okay.
And to be clear, right now, I know we like to say the whole, well, people are innocent until proven guilty. To be clear, he's actually already admitted to these crimes. So he's 100% not innocent. He almost proudly admits to these crimes. So in these cases, I'm guessing the lawyer that he got, one of those little tricky lawyers, are going to try to get him off on some type of, I don't know, insanity plea or something. But let's take a little look at, and I mean, sometimes it's unfair to bring up someone's background. But let's look at his background just from this year. So he's got a battery case from June 9th, 2020, and a case of aggravated battery causing bodily harm or disability from May 30th that is listed as open. Now let's listen to the details of that, okay? So what he did, okay, this was on May 30th. The police were dispatched to the intersection of St. Blair Stone Road and K Avenue in reference to an assault. Glee was detained there. An officer stated that he was located at a light at K Avenue when he witnessed Glee standing over a female victim and kicking her in the abdomen. The officer stated that the victim was lying on her side on the sidewalk of southbound traffic. The victim in this case was not Sims or Salau. Okay, so this is another woman, and this was just on May 30th. The victim stated she knew Glee through a mutual friend. They were drinking alcohol together, and while walking down the sidewalk, Glee asked her to break me off a piece, possibly referring to a sexual favor. She told him no, so Glee became angry, shoved her on the ground, and began kicking her in the abdomen. Another woman witnessed the attack. And then, of course, the cops witnessed immediately afterwards him standing over her, clearly not trying to help her. So, I mean, this man has a very, very violent, angry past just in the last couple months, right before he then kidnapped and assaulted and murdered not one but 2 women just in the last few months. And yet somehow he was wandering the streets. So it really makes you wonder when someone has that level of anger and hate and animosity towards his own people, towards women, that he's free to wander the streets and whatever. But then we have all these young, promising, innocent young fathers, and husbands and scientists and whatever who are being constantly harassed and attacked and brought down by the system. But this guy, but no one cared. Oh well, he's just beating and assaulting black women. Who cares? We'll put him back out on the street so he can keep doing it. Like I, this case is just tragic.
Yeah, unfortunately, with a lot of guys in particular, they are that has been rejected.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a growing and growing frustration, and sometimes they act out this way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's their power play. It's unfortunate. I would never want to be in their path, but there are guys that's doing that. That's out there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
I mean,
as far as the system is concerned, I mean, they kind of put you in and out. Come back to court on
right,
cases like this for for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure it's financial, but a lot of times that's what they do until they get caught with um, murder. Sometimes it takes just that much to stop them. That's messed up, but we've
right.
seen this, time and time again.
This is a really it's almost confusing to me though how, for example, you've got a lot of young men or men now who are a little bit older who will tell you they got caught up, with like a drop of weed or something, and they were held without bail. Immediately went to jail for years. Got that criminal record for years. Like there was no understanding, there was no care, there was no compassion to these young boys who aren't hurting anyone. So I find it crazy. I find it crazy that someone who is clearly a physical threat, a violent threat, over and over and over again, and you have this in such recent history over and over and over again. And this is a man, like I said, he's not ashamed of what he's done. He's not pretending he didn't do it. He's very proudly saying, "Oh yeah, I did it," and yeah, this bitch, I bought her beer, right? I bought her beer, and she wasn't going to break me off none. She
Right.
owed it to me. He's one of those guys. He's very proud. So, um,
Hmm.
that tells me we really got to do something about a system that will hold a young boy without bail for a drop of drugs on him, but will allow this man just keep releasing him over and over and over again. Not every couple of years. This is every few weeks, all year until he finally killed not one but two women.
Yeah, that's what, like I said, that's the unfortunate part. They're looking at the financial gain. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they set up the system for drugs. What is it called? And I should remember it, but can't remember right now. But they set it up for we talk about it all the time, but the system of drugs for catching us and
Mm-hmm.
locking us up, that's more profitable. They put a system
Yes.
together for that. But as far as this here, they're like, oh, we let you go, get a court case, you come back, that's some whatever amount that the court will earn. And then you
Right.
come back and the person may not even that was insulted may not even assaulted, may not even come back. And so we're going to throw this out until you come back and do something else. And
Right.
that's messed up, but that's how that is, you know?
Crazy. It is just crazy. And these are things that on a local level, right? On a local level, these are the issues we need to start looking at and being a little bit more specific about and fighting, because it blows my mind. It just blew my mind that I read these details about this man. And you can just like literally do a quick Google search. When my video comes out, I do have links to these articles and a couple others, so you can read up on it yourself and see like this man clearly is screaming, "I'm a threat. I'm a threat. I'm a problem and I'm a threat." And it's like, we don't really want to lock up the problems in a threat. Who cares? So just go back out and keep threatening the community. But we're gonna lock up the ones who are, they're not really bad kids. They're easy, they're docile, whatever. and keep our prisons profitable. And it'll be easier than locking up actual criminals. That, you actually have to put effort into keeping them locked up in chains, and keeping them from ruining your toilets and your whatever. Like it's crazy. But to be clear, and this is the thing I would like to be really clear about, is this is a travesty, and this is terrible. That man does not represent black men. This man and his actions, the way he sees women, the way he treats women, the way he's behaving, he's not representative of all black men or the majority of black men.
No, not at
And
all.
no, and we need to stop allowing the media or ourselves or our messages or our rhetorics or our missions. We need to stop confusing those things together, and call out bad stuff for what it is, but don't confuse him for being the majority, because he's nowhere near it.
I agree.
All right. And so, like I
Oh,
said, I will be dropping my video. Literally, it is done. It was rendering. That's why I was a little bit late coming in, but it is done. It is literally going up like within half an hour of the stream ending. So look out for it. And it's going to reference back here. It's going to be this beautiful loop that we are creating together, Shar. So I'm very
all
excited.
right.
Right? One
All
year
right. All
later,
right.
I'm dropping a video. Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. My next one. And some of the stuff is old, but I haven't got a chance to react to it. So hey. Um. Oops. I forgot to share the video. I mean the audio part. Oh well. Let me go back in. Do 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 do. Click that box. Boop. Okay. Now I got it. All right. So with this one, um, the guy decides to wipe his nose on the employee's shirt. I just can't believe the reaction. I just can't. I'll play it now.
Oh gosh.
She reminds him that he's supposed to have a mask on in the store. And his reaction was, well, let me come over here and just give you a little nose job here. There you go. I know you like that, girl. And then he complains and walks out and never to be seen again. They don't have anything to this man. This story is just ridiculous. Um, where is it? All they have is he was last seen in a white, possibly Ford model window van. When I seen this, I'm like, you all not even trying to find this man. You
No.
don't want to find this guy.
Nope.
That's all you have. Possibly a Ford, could have been possibly a Chevy, could have possibly been a Toyota. You know what? It might have been a Mercedes, a window van. Let's see.
Ow.
Most vans have windows. Yeah. I'm like, you all need to quit with that. Let me tell you what state this was in. City, Hollywood, Michigan. Police in Michigan East Side are looking, yeah, right, for a shopper caught on camera wiping his nose on a clerk who reminded
Wow.
him about the store's mandatory mask policy. The incident
Wow.
happened around 1:30 p.m. Saturday at a Dollar Tree store in Oakland County, village of Holly, located about 55 miles northeast of Detroit. The Holly Police Department says the man wasn't wearing a mask when he walked into the store on North Saginaw Street. When a worker advised him that the in-store customers must wear a mask, as stated in notices posted on the store doors, police said the man retaliated. Now, that was just ignorant. That was ridiculous. This man is has gray hair. I know he knows better. You can't tell me he doesn't know better. He just was a jerk about it. But how much is too much? Because it would have been some reaction. That woman didn't even flinch. She just looked like, "Oh, what you doing? Oh, that's what you're doing? Okay, let me watch you walk away."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, who do that? Who would have knocked that man out? What you pow as they were hitting him doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
like, are you
crazy.
kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. I'm just gonna watch you do it. Now I know you might be in shock or whatever, but normally you would react to that differently.
Yeah, yeah. I just like I think you know what no, you know what, okay, I'm gonna say this. I think people are honestly sick and tired of coronavirus. They're tired. They're tired of being stuck at home. They're tired of not working. They're tired of coronavirus limiting their lives. Right? They're tired now. And like they're acting out. That's what it is. They're acting out. And that's what it is. And it's like you have to think about it like as an employee, right? You have to prepare yourself for that. I think they probably actually have pep talks in the morning because this got caught on camera and it got spoken about. But I don't think this is the only time you see someone do something ignorant or ridiculous because they're tired now. They don't want to do coronavirus anymore. They don't want to care anymore, right? They want it to be like the flu. Like, man, cold and flu season's over. It's June. It's damn near July. I want to go back to life, right? I don't want to buy another filter for my mask. I just want to walk around. I just want to breathe the air. Is that okay with you? Right? Like they're just done. Like,
Yeah, I agree. People are, they're a little tired, and I get that. But what's going to end up happening? Because my reaction to it, the man would have been on the floor, on the
mm-hmm.
ground. That's what would have happened.
True fact.
And my boss might have said, well, the customer's always right or some BS.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to come up with, oh, well, that was an old man. You shouldn't have done that. I'm like, okay, you've heard of that law that there's a reaction to every action. There you go. That's him on the floor there. I
Mm-hmm.
can't help my body just responded the way it did.
That's
So
true.
what are you talking about? But that would have been the backlash that you would have to deal with you- for allowing the customer to do anything to you or not do anything to you. You have to defend yourself. I'm not going to go through that and think it's okay. Oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and let them do that. Well, no, get on out of here with that.
It's just, you know what? I mean, you're right. You think about it this way, right? In any other normal circumstance, like let's take the COVID-19 out of it, right? And you're an employee working somewhere. Would you be okay with anybody touching you in general? You don't need to touch me, and I don't need to touch you, right? Like you're an employee. We keep our physical distance. You learn when you're a kid, you stick your arms out into the tip of your finger. That's your own personal space. You keep that personal space between you and someone else, and you're good. Imagine that anyone did this to you for even if it wasn't COVID-19. Would you be okay? Would you be calm and rational and just like, oh, well, no, it's okay. He wiped his nose on my shirt. Like, even when kids do stuff like that, I want to kick them in the face, right? Like, I understand they're kids, right? Or babies, but like, are you kidding me? This is a nice shirt. Now I have to walk around with your snot or your spit up on my shirt. Like, I want to do something to you, but I can't because you're little, right? So I'm imagining a grown person deciding I'm a Kleenex. Like,
And the
I
fact
don't
he
even think
got
I would.
away, get out of here.
Yeah, like I don't even think I would be thinking about disease or anything like that. I think I would just be thinking about, are you kidding me? On my clothes, that I have to wear, and no, no, it wouldn't. It would not have gone well. It wouldn't have gone well at all. No, you're so
Exactly.
right. You're so right. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Ah, wow. Uh, where was this again? Where did this happen?
I just clicked out of it. So you would have to rewind to hear what I said because I forgot. I remember
Yeah.
how Michigan, near Michigan, something like that. I think Michigan.
Oh, oh, you'd think like I don't know, like somewhere in nowhere, Idaho, like just somewhere like where they don't have brought up seat, like no one trained them on how to act right. Like this is crazy.
Shh, you've been on the ground. I know that much.
Man,
But
gotta
up
love
next is
humanity.
right. All right, up
All
next is you.
all
Your
right.
turn.
So
Dun, dun, dun,
I'm gonna post
dun.
another video, and I'm gonna
All
send it to
right.
you. And we want to start at the 1 minute mark because not like the first minute doesn't matter. They're talking about him and whatever, but I feel like there's enough expansion about this man going forward. Now I want to talk about him. This is Canada is going to hell in a handbasket. I'm gonna say that, and this is what it's a nice transition. COVID-19 is driving everybody crazy and making them go to their baser like kind of humanity, and that includes Canadian cops. I think this is probably the third week in a row that I've spoken about something relating to the cops killing people who called them for help. Like, I called the cops because I need help. They showed up, they killed me. This is, maybe it's not that rare in America, comparatively. So maybe y'all aren't as shocked and outraged and almost scared by hearing these stories. It doesn't change your worldview about America, but this doesn't happen here. Okay,
Oh,
this doesn't happen here. They don't just show up and kill people here. Like, it's very distressing. I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of the video though first. I think it's like 2 minutes or so from here, and then you'll know when they start dragging it on and on. But they talk a little bit about him and they tell you what happened.
okay.
But there's no video, like there's no
He
body cam
always lived
video or
outside the
anything.
box. He never looked at anything in a negative way.
But the young man with big dreams and a big heart was also struggling with schizophrenia. The family says they'd called police on 4 or 5 different occasions to take DeAndre to the hospital, concerned about his well-being.
Who called 911 that day?
DeAndre called 911 that day. Don't come and take someone's life when they call in for help.
It was Monday, April 6th, and the family was making dinner when there was a knock at the door. 2 officers from Peel Regional Police arrived, answering DeAndre's call.
If he's looking for help and if he's the one that's calling, he shouldn't have ended up 6 feet under. Now when I have to walk to a graveside with my siblings, it hurts me to know that's the reason where I'm going for him. Like, that hurts. He didn't deserve it.
Here's what we know. The police arrived and found DeAndre in the kitchen holding a knife. After a brief encounter, the officers shocked DeAndre with their tasers. Moments later, one of the officers shot him dead.
How is that possible? The guy's not a criminal. He's not wanted. He only shoot down wanted people, right? Or they come in the house and murder him just like that.
Ontario's Special Investigations Unit, which independently examines all fatal police shootings in the province, is now looking into exactly what transpired in those last minutes of DeAndre Campbell's young life. This is a burning issue that is bigger than any one life. Protests across the country have given voice to the belief there is an anti-Black, anti-Indigenous bias that has poisoned police forces from coast to coast to coast, a feeling now shared by the Campbell family.
Do you think that racism played a part in your son's death?
I think so.
Yes.
Racism is everywhere all over the world. It's here in Canada too. And we all have to put an eye on it and put a stop to it.
Days after the shooting death, police sources leaked details of the investigation to the Toronto Sun, saying DeAndre was agitated and they had to protect people in the home and themselves. Race, they insisted, was not a consideration. Citing the ongoing investigation, Peel Regional Police wouldn't tell us anything about the 2 officers who answered DeAndre's call for help that evening, nor would they explain why the department has a crisis intervention team to handle mental health calls, but didn't send them to the scene, even though DeAndre's mental health problems were well known to the police.
They shouldn't be going to a house with mental issue with guns. For what? They're going to fight a war? Why are they bringing guns to deal with a mental issue? They're not going to war. They're going to kill.
You think he died because of a lack of experience and a lack of training?
A lack of everything. That whole night until the morning, literally out of all those officers, only one officer said my condolences. One officer. Nobody else did. How does that make you feel?
What are you hoping to get from that investigation?
Justice.
Justice. This guy should get
Yeah.
26 years in prison, the same age as my son.
Mm-hmm.
He should do that time.
Because of the pandemic, the Campbells had to wait almost 2 months to bury their son. Gone, but not at peace.
It's time for us to rise up as a community,
2
as people.
months. So, as you heard, so this is a man who has schizophrenia, who is well known. The fact that he has schizophrenia, the fact that he has episodes, schizophrenics are actually documented to be like, you know, that they are very unlikely to hurt other people. They're actually very unlikely. I know we have like some stereotypes in our head that they'll start killing people because everyone's a monster, but they don't. Even when they are that deep in psychosis, they tend to retreat into themselves because they're very fearful. Um, so now, with that being said, when things start getting out of control for him, his medications aren't working right, and whatever, they would call the police, and the police would come to help. In this case, he was scared of his own volition. He realized that, you know what, he needed more help than his family or himself could give. So what did he do? He called the police thinking they'll help me. Peel Regional Police is failing lately. This is the police department that I told y'all, like, listen, stuff like that doesn't work here. This has been the police department that I've been dealing with my whole life. But since COVID-19 started, I mean, I don't know what's happening. And this is where, see, they mentioned we do have a crisis intervention unit. There's actually several of them. So not only is there one that's actually within the police, but then we have a service called Coast, which works with the police. And they are a crisis intervention team. So you can call them and they show up. They have some police with them, but and talk you off a ledge, so to speak. And even if you call the police and you didn't call Coast because you don't know they exist, Coast is supposed to show up with the police when it's a mental health issue. Um, this is not happening since COVID-19, not at all. And the amount of black people, black people that have died in literally, I'll say within a 5 to 10 minute drive of my house, since COVID-19 started, is it's terrifying. And these are all mental health calls. These are people with no criminal record. These are people who are entirely unarmed. And then what are the police doing? The same thing that the cops do when they sit there and they try to criminalize, right? Oh, well, he was agitated. Oh, well, he was in the kitchen. They actually tried to leak to one of the newspapers that he had a knife in his hand, right? To try to justify, well, he had a weapon. And so that's why we discharged our weapons. But of course, eventually reports came out negating that. He never had a weapon in his hands, he never had a knife in his hands. Um, so, I
Wow.
mean, yeah, they're really, really trying with this one because this is, God, how many times I seen the word SIU? I didn't even know this department existed, and yet it's like in every news article because they keep showing up to mental health issues and then killing people.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So there was
Right?
no knife. Yeah.
No, there was no
Wow.
knife.
Well, what I heard in this article is the fact that the police used a stun gun or taser, and but who's the nut who used his actual gun? That's what they're
Yep.
protecting. That's why they're not
Yes.
giving any names or anything. They're trying to figure this thing out how they're going to come out the best way that they can come out. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Is you had two people. They still shouldn't have come in with weapons, but the point is if I remember correctly, there was three officers on scene. Two of them discharged a stun gun, and the third discharged a gun. And I think what happened was the third one was inexperienced, didn't know what the hell he was doing. He pulled the gun when everyone else pulled the stun gun, thinking that's what we're doing. We're killing this person for no good reason, and shot and killed him. That's what I think happened.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's terrifying.
Um,
And when you see my third article, see, I've come with themes lately. If you notice, there's like this big theme. So my third article, when we get there, it's in theme with this. Because they like to say, they said, right? If you remember at the end, they said, "Oh, there's no racism tied to this. This had nothing to do with race," right? All right,
uh-huh.
don't worry. Well, wait till we get to my third article. We'll see if it had something to do with race. Okay.
All right. Okay, I got two to go. Let me see. Pull this up. This is going to be kind of fast.
Okay.
No audio.
Mm.
All right. Walmart says it no longer lock up multicultural hair products. Why did you lock them up? You were afraid they were going to commit a crime?
Right. What? I didn't even know they did this.
Could that be the reason?
Of course. We're all
The
thieves.
hair products was going to commit a crime? So you locked them up?
Wow. Did they
I'm
really
just
do this,
wondering.
Shar? Like they have black hair products locked up in Walmart in America?
Yes.
Wow.
And I'm making a joke out of it. But yes, they do or did.
Wow. I I didn't know that. That's it's not like that here. In Walmart's here, like you got your little tiny like I don't know half a shelf of black hair products, but they're not locked up or kept locked up after hours or anything crazy like that. They're open on the shelf like normal shampoo and conditioner because it's shampoo and conditioner. Like what?
But it's multicultural. It might do something. So you got to
Right.
lock it up.
Wow. No, you know what they're saying,
Yeah.
right? Is that all black people are criminals. So if you give them an ability to steal something, they will. So because this is for black people, you have to lock it up. Otherwise, they're just going to steal it. They would never spend money because they don't earn money because we're all criminals and low lives, right? So much so we can't buy our hair products, honestly. Wow. Wow. That's wow. That's something. That's that is
Yeah.
that is racist, right? Like that is racist. Wow, I didn't know that.
And
I
I
didn't know
know
that.
for certain that every area, especially in a poor area, has some products that are stolen more than others. But for a company like Walmart that have cameras and security and all this stuff, they went as far as locking up
Right.
multicultural products. Get out of
Wow.
here.
Wow. Oh, but of course, they're on your side. Really, they support black people. Don't forget that part. They really care about us.
Well, they do now, after all this liberating. Everybody supports you now. Yeah.
Right? Meanwhile, and see, there is a lot of warped perception. I wish I had the stuff prepared right now because I would totally pull it out. People don't believe this is true, but there's a very huge warped perception out there that somehow like 99% of all crime is committed by black people and white people don't commit crimes. And that we commit all of the types of crimes, right? Whereas in, for example, things like petty theft and shoplifting, the rates for white people is huge. Our rates are actually significantly lower. And when you think about the fact that they often get a slap on the wrist the first, second, and even third time that they do something and records expunged and whatnot and lowered charges, it's amazing how high their rates are for things like shoplifting, assault, murder, pedophilia, so on and so forth. Like white people commit crimes at massive rates, and most of the people, like if you've ever worked at a store that has been properly analyzed by risk assessment, and been properly trained at risk assessment as far as loss prevention, preventing people from stealing your stuff, they don't tell you to watch black kids or black adults or even black mothers with strollers. They tell you to watch white women who are middle aged, who shop during the day and who have strollers. That's who they tell you to watch because those are the people who are going to steal the most stuff. That's just real. Um, the fact that Walmart, this mega conglomeration, was still acting on such a biased, prejudiced, and wrong view of other ethnicities other than whiteness. That's crazy. That is really crazy. Wow.
Yep.
Go Western society. We are really failing. Like, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of jacked up.
Well, yeah, like it's funny though how many things we don't even see as like racist or wrong because they're just always like that. Like when Shea Moisture did their whole little campaign to, put our products on the regular shelves with all the other products. And I was like, why did I accept that as being okay? Why did I accept a little teeny tiny half a corner, three shelves, half a corner, not even in the hair section as black hair? Why did I accept that as being okay? Why wasn't it just in the hair section with other hair products? Because we matter too and our needs matter too. Like it's weird what we accept as okay and we dismiss as like it's not even a big thing. That's wow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
All right. So, this is now remember, nobody's racist here, nobody at all. And so, obviously the fact that they are like, gunning down or throwing off balconies every black person or indigenous black person who calls the police, right? This is not race based at all. That means they're treating all calls exactly the same. Well, no, certainly not. Um, so here's this white man. Now he is accused of killing a 7-year-old girl. This is in Edmonton, Alberta. Um, he was assessed by the police and mental health professionals just hours before his crime. Hours before his crime. So to show you here, okay, so he's a 34-year-old white man, David Moss, right? He's now charged with second-degree murder for murdering this little girl. This is a friend's daughter, from what I can tell. They didn't really give too many details about exactly why he went to these people's house and why he killed the little girl. Those details still aren't being made clear. But of course they're
Oh,
not because they protect white people whenever possible in the media. Uh,
okay.
so, but earlier that day, the police and crisis team called PACT in Edmonton, Alberta, was called to Moss's
Oh,
home, okay, where he was assessed by two constables and a mental health professional with Alberta Health Services. After the assessment, Moss agreed to attend a doctor's appointment later in the day, but he didn't show up for that appointment. PACT was made aware of the missed appointment by AHS. Okay, I would like to point out something though. So, most of the police violence and brutality, other than just murder, that has happened in Ontario and actually across Canada, I will say, over the last 8 months or so since they changed their policy, has been because they changed the policy. And the policy is that if someone is having any form of mental health issue or crisis, well, then they must be basically brought to a mental health facility to be evaluated. So that could be the emergency room, it could be whatever, right? But they have to be evaluated. What I find interesting about this story, though, is that this white man who called him and said, "Yo, I'm all kinds of messed up." They went and saw him and said, "No, you're cool. You show up at the doctor later on your own volition." And they trusted the man who's out of his mind because he was white to do this, to go show up. And of course, he didn't show up. I'll show you what this man looks like. Um, he didn't show up for the doctor's appointment. Nobody stayed guard with him to make sure he followed up. No one wrestled him to the ground and beat him down and put him in handcuffs and forced him anywhere. No, they just left him alone to function on his own volition, even though he called them and said, like, I am batshit out of my mind today. And look what happened. He murdered a 7-year-old girl. And of course, he's fine though. He's not dead, right? He's in jail. He's not dead. No one brutalized him. No one shot and killed him. No one shot stun guns at him, right? So he he's out of his mind, and then he murders a child and he's fine. He's fine. Nothing has come to pass against him. And now I've told you how many stories in the last few weeks, maybe about 7 or 8 stories of people who've not hurt anybody, who call the police for help, and the police end up shooting them, throwing them off balconies. I mean,
Uh-huh.
the amount of brutality and murder from the police for these people, it's insane. But when a white man calls, they don't even follow policy and procedure. But that's their excuse, right? Well, we're trying to follow policy and procedure, and we have no choice. We have to make them go, like what they did to my sister. I wasn't there. I have voice. I have a voice recording though, because I was on the phone with my parent while the police was there. You could hear it. You can hear what they're saying. They're speaking to her like she's a criminal. They're kicking. They literally, her door was in pieces. Her bookshelves were all overturned. Pictures of her dead mother on the floor where they're literally stepping on her stuff, like they're there to detain a violent criminal. Um, this is, well, she's sitting there screaming, "You're hurting me! You're hurting my arm!" Because they bent her arm, and then you twist someone's arm up and behind their back to keep them from moving. They did that, and she was trying to move, so they kept making it worse and worse, like she's a criminal, and they were there to stop her from criminal behavior or something, but she wasn't. She had left a suicide note basically and disappeared. So we called the police to help us find her, and this is how they treated her. Um, but and then they said, well, we have no choice. We need to get her to a hospital so she could be assessed, and that's what we were just worried about, her mental health. Really,
Hmm.
really, this has nothing to do with race. Um, and yes, things have changed dramatically since COVID-19, but and can we say, yeah, things have gotten worse for white people too? Sure, but we're the canary in the coal mine, so it's gonna hit us first, and it's gonna hit us worse. And it's like, we got to recognize what's happening here. The police systems, and judicial systems, everything is on under massive amounts of pressure right now because of COVID-19. And so what we are seeing is people's, like, again, their animal nature, the worst of them coming out. And so we're seeing what's underlying the veneer, right? The veneer of, I'm not racist. The veneer of, oh, I don't see color, right? Really,
Yeah, right.
really, right? Like, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
All right. Well, my last article touches a little bit on color as well.
Okay.
I mean, it has audio, and I
Ooh.
might stop it um, to give a little commentary about a particular action that had happened. Let
Okay.
me get this together here. And okay, that is the video part. Okay. Did I? Nope. I didn't do it. I got to go back out again. I sure didn't do it.
I believe in
Shame on
you.
me.
I believe in you. You got this. You got this.
It's that little box. I don't know why. I said it out loud, but did I hit it? No, I did
I
not.
know. I feel your pain, girl. Just like today, like, why? Why did I do this wrong? Why won't the sound work? I don't know. Just,
Yeah, I had two windows open at the part that I wanted to read, and then I had the part where I wanted to show the video.
mm,
But I'll
okay.
show the video and then I'll talk about the thing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Brother man, he knows what's up. He like, this is some bull. He done threw his hand like, this some bull. As soon as he heard what the problem was, because he coming out wondering, well, what's going on? and he was. They were accused of forcing themselves in the house.
Oh,
That didn't
what?
happen. That didn't happen at all. Where's my
Of course
screen?
not.
Let me go
Of
back.
course not.
I didn't show anything.
No,
I
not yet.
got the wrong screen.
But we waiting though. I'm patiently waiting. I'm good. We're good. I believe in you.
All right, let's do this one more again.
All right.
One more again.
You got this.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, I see him. Hey guys, come on out. Tell Knox coming up front.
Hands up!
Hands up! What y'all doing?
Tell your friend to come out too. Hands up.
Oh no, man, we got fucking appointment. Tell him to come out. Well, people saw you forcing your way in. That's why we're here.
Oh man, I don't know. They just white people calling the goddamn police doing that bullshit. I ain't even gonna buy
It's called being a good neighbor. If you see somebody going into a house,
I ain't gonna buy the house. I ain't even gonna buy it.
How'd you get in?
I be a realtor.
Okay. I
Mm.
played it this time. Sorry
Yes.
about that. I had it on the other screen. Well,
Okay.
brother man, he once he got the information that he was seeing Forrest going inside the house, he flailed his hands like, "Man, get out of here! It's some BS." So he already knew what was up.
Hmm.
And the first thing he saw, some white person call the police, and he must have ESP, and I'll tell you why. Because Cincinnati, because that's where this happened, has reached a $151,000 settlement after a retired cop accused a black real estate agent and his client for breaking into a home in a predominantly white neighborhood. So not only is he a real estate agent, he also has ESP. Isn't that something? It is a
Wow.
talented brother. Isn't he
That's
talented?
crazy. That's amazing.
Just talented. Police body camera shows one of six police officers on the scene, six of them now, okay, on the scene, aiming a gun at Anthony Edwards and his real estate agent, Jerry Isham. So I'll keep playing it some more so you guys can see that.
Okay.
I think it'll show it.
So we can confirm. Turn around.
So the one want to buy the house, he's complying.
Hmm.
Brother man, like, I'm tired of this BS. Y'all own it. I'm tired of y'all. I ain't holding my hand up. I ain't
sir, what
doing
are you
nothing.
talking about, man?
Hmm.
That's some ignorant shit you're talking. I don't understand this. I don't give a damn if you're white or black. We're doing our job here.
Say you what?
Man, this is incredible.
But that's bullshit though.
I can't believe you just pulled that out.
Guys,
Yeah, turn around.
two black guys.
Turn
That's
around.
I'm gonna go to jail. I do that.
Why were you going to jail? If you didn't break in, then you're not going to jail.
Put me in handcuffs if I was white.
That's called being detained. I don't give a damn who you are, if you're white or black or anything, man. You got anything sharp on you?
No, you can take
Okay, I'm gonna pat you
my
down.
jacket up. I got ID in my pocket. Y'all ain't ask for the ID. Yeah.
We will, don't worry.
Okay.
Man,
What is gonna happen?
that has nothing to do with anything, man. Spread your legs.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
There's been two white guys. Y'all really went through all.
Yeah, we would. I guess because you ride along, you know what we do, huh? You know how we do our job, don't you?
I mean,
Yep.
This is incredible. Come step down here.
It's every day. This is the everyday shit. Every day. Now you searching us like we got drugs and dope. And guns.
You got an ID on you somewhere?
Yeah, it's in my pocket, man. I told you I had ID. You should have did all that when you first pulled
Sir,
up.
you're not a cop. I'm doing my job, okay?
Yeah.
You are incredible.
He's incredible.
You're not gonna get.
White, though, y'all would have
That has nothing to do with anything.
Okay, that stuff doesn't fly anymore.
Okay.
I see him.
That was too short, but I loved it. Okay, I'm gonna finish reading this. Scroll down. The city regrets, oh, shoot, I was doing too much scrolling. Okay, the city regrets this extremely unfortunate and unnecessary situation. That's
Uh-huh.
how they label this. Cincinnati City Manager Patrick Dehaney says Thursday in a statement to Atlanta Black Star Mr. Isham and Mr. Edwards did nothing wrong. Included in the settlement is voluntary training with police and the Board of Realtors. Further, we are in the process of implementing implicit bias training for all city employees.
Mhm.
Dehaney says, we sincerely apologize. The incident in, depicted in police footage unfolds after Edwards and Isham says that they were they used a lockbox to enter the house in the 1000 block of Maduro Drive in West Prince Hill, November 17th, 2018, almost 2 years ago, according to the 16-page complaint Fox 19 obtained. Officers said they responded to the scene in question after a retired officer, Tom Brannigan, who lives in the neighborhood, called 911 to report a break in at the house in question, according to the news outlet. In the body
Mhm.
cam video, one of the responding officers can be heard yelling to the men, "Hands up! My hands up! What y'all doing?" Edwards asked. Body camera shows officers escorting him off of the home's front step where he is handcuffed, searched, and questioned. One officer asks Edwards for ID and he takes it out and says, "You should have did all that when you first pulled up." The comment prompted at least two officers on the scene to yell at Edwards, with one of them saying, "Hey, you're not a cop. I'm doing my job, okay?" Another officer can be heard asking Edwards to relax, to which he responds, "I am relaxed. I'm cool. I'm just talking to him. But if
Mhm.
we were white, y'all wouldn't be nagging us."
For sure.
Now, why would they receive a settlement why, and an apology and all of those things if nothing was wrong?
Right. Right.
Ha.
Like, you're not doing your job. Like, if that was a white man, let's be real. That was a white man. Please show up. And he's a realtor. He'd be like, "Oh, I'm a realtor. I'm here showing the house." That would have been like he probably would pull out a business card, show you the business card. That would have been the end of that discussion. Oh, sorry. I guess there was some confusion with the neighbors. Do you mind if we just stand on the porch while you show the house, just in case? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. That's what would have happened. Would have been done. And why don't you contact the homeowner maybe? um, and whatever because of this call and whatever. Recognize as the police that hey, this call was made because the neighbors are a nosy and be racist. Like I mean, there's so many things that would have happened differently if this wasn't a case of prejudice and bias and wasn't dead ass wrong. Like, this is the equivalent of being able to arrest someone for just going into their own house or going into a friend's house or whatever the case is when they have permission to be there. And you wouldn't be able to just arrest someone. Hey, I have a key. I have full access to this house. How can you stop someone like that and treat them like a criminal when they have clear access to the house? Legal access to the house, whether it's a key, whether it's the code to the lockbox, whatever the case is. They've been given access to the house. Why is it on you now to do what you're doing? It's actually not. And the only reason why you would think that is because you're looking at a black man and you've decided all black men aren't worth a damn, don't have jobs, and only are anywhere under nefarious reasons, right? No, like, no, that's crazy. That is crazy. I can't even, oh man. Oh man. You imagine how that brother feels now. He's got to go home with that on his heart and in his head that, he could be doing his job. Next time he might not be so lucky. That's the sad thing, is you got to count a situation that ends like that as lucky. It might next time he might not be so lucky that he'll be doing his job and police will show up because he's already inside the house at that point and just shoot him dead as he's coming down the stairs. No conversation, no question, because they've already criminalized him based on the color of his skin.
Yeah. And just so happened his 9-year-old son was waiting in the car.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh wow. Just what a lesson. And see, when you talk about white privilege, right? And white people always just say stupid shit about it, but what they don't understand is like white privilege is the privilege of being able to look at your 9-year-old and say, I don't want them to have to grow up too fast. I don't want them to have to know about bad things too early. They're just kids. Let's keep them just kids. You can do that with a 9-year-old white boy. You can't do that with a 9-year-old black boy. And if that child was a child um, up until that moment, and his parents were able to shield him his whole life, at this moment now he's not anymore because now he gets it. His father, who's not a criminal, who's a hardworking man, who did all the right things in all the right ways, could be accosted like this by the police and criminalized based on his skin. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter if you're not even committing a crime right now. They can still do this to you. Oh, that poor child. I really feel for them. I really do.
Yeah. And I just pointed out the fact that that was 2018. And it's just the same story over and over again. So um,
Yep.
now things are changing and it's changing slowly and somewhat rapidly in some places. But the fact is, there will be some change. You can't deny it anymore. Too many people are just going ahead and agreeing, yes, we know, we stand with you, we stand with you. Let us put our money where our mouth is here. And I don't even care if this is the money that they got from the CARES Act or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it became in their it came in their hands and it went right back out. Good. And as far as us as people, I hope that we use it. We go to these companies if we work for them and say, "Hey, I need some additional help," or if it's something that they advertise, check out their marketing departments because they put a lot of money in that. Find out what they say they do, and ask for it. There you
Right.
go.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Um, and I love the fact that and you pointed this out actually in several videos at the beginning, or whatever, especially on Fridays when you tell people stuff and you're like, listen, you're gonna keep receiving these emails at this time, maybe text messages, seeing commercials of these companies who are saying, we care about black lives, we care about black people, we care about the community, we care about what y'all are going through, we care about stopping racism, so on and so forth. Really? Put your money where your mouth is. Really put your actions where your mouth is. Really put your power where your mouth is. Because a lot of these companies actually do have the money and the power to swing the entire average um, towards less of this. No, I mean, you can't, change people's hearts and minds, but you can definitely mitigate their actions. You can definitely put people in a box and say, too bad, you can't act out on this. But it just depends on, do you care enough to make that happen or not? And so if they're going to say it, they're going to keep sending you all these messages so that way you keep spending your hard-earned billions, black women, billions of dollars. Um, then you know what? You tell them, hey, listen, sure, I'll keep spending my money. You show me that you deserve my money because I'm going to start spending my money with companies who aren't just full of hot air. That's it.
That's right. And that is the conclusion of our episode 7 of
Mm-hmm.
Article Reactions. I want to thank you guys for coming through and supporting us. It's been great. Really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Zero, my hero. Thanks for coming through, Zero, and I'll give you a verbal thank you for your financial support for the channel. We are ending the show now. We're all done. Hope you get a chance to check out the replay when you get a chance. Always throw something in there that a little story here, personal or something you can learn, um, give to someone else. And we'll continue with our episodes, our article reactions. I enjoy them. Hope you
Me too.
guys do too. And hopefully, I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week into July. Hopefully, it'll come in peacefully. I'm hoping.
Hmm. Yes. Yes.
We did the best we could in June, and now July is right around the corner. So
Hmm.
until next week and until July, you guys be safe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.
All right. Cheers, y'all.